Hi everyone. So this is question 7 from tutorial sheet 4 on matrices. So this is on matrices. Yeah. So let me start with this first question here. We are saying we find the determinant of this. So how do we find the determinant? Simple. The way we always find the determinants. So the first one is so the first number here is 1. When you open brackets, the minor of 1 is this part here, that is the minor of 1. So we can write it there. We can find the determinant of this minor. This is cos times cos, you get cos squared x, and then minus open brackets. These we change to curly brackets since there are other brackets inside. And then you have sine x times negative sine x. You are going to have your answer to be negative sine squared x in close brackets, like that. And then the rest will give you zeros, because when you say minus 0 times everything that you are going to have here as your minor, you still get the same 0. And then you say plus the last 0 here, this one here, multiply with everything there in the, you multiply it with its minor there, you still get a 0. Yeah, you still get a 0. So the best is for you just to end there. Just end here, and then you can now 1 times everything in the brackets, you still get the same things. So you are going to have cos squared x, negative times negative, you'll get your plus sine squared x there. So we all know to say sine squared x plus cos squared x is nothing but equal to 1. So this is your determinant. We can move on to the next question here. Okay, let me just erase this. So for this one, you just have to be careful when multiplying. So the determinant of the second part here, you first write your first number there. So in this case, we have cos x, cos y. So I'm going to write my cos x, cos y there. Cos x, cos y. I'll write it there. Then I'll open the brackets. Find the minor of cos x, cos y. The minor will be this part, this here. This is going to be the minor. So I'm going to multiply cos x times cos x. You get your cos squared x. Oh, sorry. This is cos y times cos x. So meaning we're going to get cos y, cos x the way it is. So we're going to get cos x, cos y. This is what we're going to get. And then this is going to be minus in the brackets. 0 times this here, you still get a 0. That's the reason I've just closed the brackets without putting it there. So you still get a 0. So you leave it like that. Then we move on. We find the minor for the second part there. This one here. So we're going to have negative cos x sine y You can write it there. Then find the minor for this. So the minor, we're going to cross out this line and this line. The remaining entries are the minors for this. So negative sine x times cos x, you get your negative sine x cos x. You write it like that. And then, so this is tutorial sheet 4. I forgot to write it. Tutorial sheet 4. So you write it like that, and then minus 0 times sine x cos x. You still get a 0 there, which is just the same as not writing it. So we can leave it like that. There's no problem. We move on to the last part. So the last part is saying the last part we have negative sine x outside. Then from there we open the brackets. Let us now find the minor for negative sine x, meaning we're going to cancel this line and that row, where we're going to remain with this. So negative sine x times y, you are going to have negative sine squared. We're going to have negative sine squared x sine y. Sine y. Then when you multiply this sine x cos y times cos y, you get your minus. So you put your sine x this side. So the space this side is has finished. So I'm going to write on top. I'm going to write this on top. So you have sine x multiplied by cos squared y. Multiplied by cos squared. Anyway, let me just write it this side so that we don't confuse some of our friends. So we're going to have this minus sine x cos y. Sine x cos, of course, squared y will be cos will be squared. Then you close the brackets like that. So now here it's just a matter of simplifying this. So when you multiply this cos x cos y times cos x cos y, you will get cos squared x cos squared y. So this is what you're going to get. And then you say minus. You multiply this. You are going to have sine. You are going to have positive there. And then you have sine x. So this was our first stage. This is our second stage. You are going to have sine x. Oh, sorry, sine y. Oh, yeah, it's going to be sine x and then sine y. Then cos squared x. Then when you multiply this negative sine x times that, you get your positive sine cubed x sine y. Again, you multiply this negative sine x times negative sine x cos squared y. You have your positive sine squared x, or sorry, to be positive, yeah, positive sine squared x, and then cos squared y. So this is what we are going to have after multiplying. So here we can start manipulating our calculations to see what we can get. So I think from here, from this expression here, I can simplify this to, while there is sine squared x, I'll put cos 1 minus cos squared x. So here I'm going to put 1 minus cos squared x, like that. So I'm going to have something like that. So let me just do this. I just want to simplify it just right here. Okay. So I'm going to put my 1 minus cos squared x here. Cos squared x in brackets then when I multiply this cos squared y times 1, I'll remain with cos squared y, and then this cos squared y times cos squared x, I'll get my negative cos squared x cos squared y. So what I'm trying to say is I'm going to have something like this cos squared y times 1, I'll get my cos squared y. Then when I multiply cos squared y and cos squared x, I'll get negative cos squared x, then cos squared y. Like that. So this is what I'm going to have. So if I have this, I know to say this one here, negative cos squared x and cos squared y, when I add it to this term here, so when I add this term and that term, I'm going to get a 0. So in short, what I'm trying to say is this is just the same as me writing cos squared y there, and then deleting the remaining things like this. I just delete this. And also this part this side, since they have subtracted and I've gotten a 0. So that is what I'm going to get. So at least I've simplified one part. So how else can I simplify the remaining parts here? I think this cos squared x can also be written as 1 minus sine squared x. So this can also be written as 1 minus sine squared x. So I'm going to write it here, this side. I'm going to write it in these brackets. So the cos squared x can also be written as 1 minus sine squared x, and then from there this one is gone now. So there we're just remaining with the multiplication now. So when you multiply this sine x and sine y times that one, you get your sine x. You get your sine x, sine, this is sine, okay, sine x, sine y, Then when you multiply this times that, you get your negative sine cubed x, negative sine cubed x, and then you have your sine y this side. You get something like that. And then you add it to this side. Sine cubed x sine y plus cos squared y. Yeah? Okay, got my best in my. Oh yeah, sorry for that disturbance, sorry. Forgot to pause the video. Anyway, so this and that will cancel. So what we're remaining with is just this, sine x and sine y. And then you have plus cos squared y. So I think for me, I can end here. I don't know if I can go further than this. Yeah. Alright, so thank you very much for watching the video. Make sure that you don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next tutorial video.